Hello, Pop Consumer Society. We're back. It's lunchtime, and let's talk about the Fantastic Four. Yeah, buddy, we see you, buddy. A screening for the chosen ones, for those handpicked by Disney to watch Fantastic Four. Of course, people started talking about it, and we have some leaked impressions because someone told someone else, man, you won't believe what I watched today. They grabbed me by the arm at the mall and said, "Hey, do you want to see a movie?" I said I wanted to. I got there and it was Fantastic Four, and I watched the whole movie like this. Then it went from one person to another like a game of telephone. By the way, you could ask what phone even has a cord these days. That thing where one person tells another, then another. And it finally reached Reddit's ears, and it's already leaked, guys. And here, of course, I'm going to analyze the positive points and the negative points of the movie with a few months in advance. What are the people who watched it saying? Positive points. First of all, Galactus got it right. They nailed it. They said that Galactus looks like he was taken straight out of a comic book page. In other words, choosing to bring Ralph Eisen, putting him in the Galactus costume, the galactic Miranda meat turban, and that purple and blue outfit, that giant creature walking through the city, it worked. All that fear from decades, all that fear of bringing Galactus to the screen, then they turned Galactus into a space cloud, only use the silhouette. It's over. Now Galactus, yeah, man, a crazy guy in a skirt with a turban on his head. Yeah, and it worked. According to those who watched the movie, it works. Galactus works. It's excellent. It's scary. It's impressive. It's a threat. Visible, tangible, and those who watched really loved the big Galactus. So congratulations, Marvel did it. Another positive point, the cosmic horror. Just look at that. You thought Fantastic Four was going to be a family movie, an action, adventure, space movie. No, there are a lot of horror tones. And once again, we can say that Galactus is behind all this, right? The good snack is behind this. Galactus is behind this. Because Galactus, according to the information from those who watched it, brings this Lovecraftian horror tone. Yes, Tulio. Do you know what, Tulio? So, Tulio Maravilla. That's right, the Lovecraftian horror, that surreal horror of mysterious dimensional creatures is there. So it's a movie that will also have its touches of tension, its touches of despair. It's the end of the world, my friend. It's the end of the world. And it's also a positive point that they're bringing to this movie. Galactus then steals the show and stands out. The question is whether Marvel will have the courage to drop Galactus after this movie and not use Galactus, for example, in Secret Wars. If he's the big attraction of this movie, I think there's a chance that Galactus could escape along with the Fantastic Four, but let's go negative points. Let's talk about a negative point. They said there's a lack. Character development. This was really a concern that I had already brought up here on the channel because character development is something that takes time. And in this movie, we don't just have four protagonists who will need to be introduced without an origin, but we also have an entire universe, a completely new universe. We have a futuristic retro Earth from the 60s. It's not merely about presenting four characters with personalities, stories, and backgrounds completely from scratch, just like that, out of nowhere, without a background. Because Marvel believes that the Fantastic Four already have their origin known and recognized by the public, and there's no need to tell that story again. They're going to show it in a little movie, something like, oh, this is the Fantastic Four, check out their story, ta-da, they're astronauts who went to space, came back with superpowers, and they've already been among us for 4 years. That's it. That's all we're going to get for their origin. It's not going to be a movie where I start without powers, then decide to go to space, then steal the rocket, then come back, oh my god, my powers, show the powers, learn how to use the powers. That's not going to happen in this movie, so this is an opportunity for you to build their personalities, and they're already going to have their personalities formed, so really, it's likely that the time to develop these characters was short since the movie can't be hours long. And hours, it's not a series, so you can't make a whole episode for each character. You just can't. It's full speed ahead, and that's where some development was missing. With 4 main characters, the entire world, supporting casts, Galactics, and Silver Surfers, it takes time to develop them all. Viewers felt the character development was lacking, which is concerning given their intriguing nature and nearly 70 years of fascinating history. And that needed that development, but now it's going to stay like this, so what now? There won't be an origin movie. There's no way to properly introduce these characters before they become superheroes. Everything will have to happen all at once now, and according to those who watched it, that hurt the film. Not that I'm defending another Fantastic Four origin movie here, God forbid, but it's necessary to work on and develop the characters, because that's what makes you care about their drama, so that's a negative point they're bringing up. The other negative point is very curious, and I had already mentioned it here on the channel. The negative point is as follows. Reed Richards and his powers complained that very little of Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic's elasticity powers are used in this movie. Which is also curious, because I always say here on the channel that there are 2 powers. I'm not a special effects expert, but I read about those who are experts. And the guys say there are 2 powers that are extremely difficult to bring to the screen. Green Lantern, because there's a risk it could look too much like a caricature, too much like a cartoon, and lose its connection to reality. Green Lantern poses a significant challenge for James Gunn, unlike the Fantastic Four. Now, stretching powers are also extremely complicated and very expensive to do. They have never really looked believable. It's very challenging because when people stretch, it appears grotesque, throwing you into the uncanny valley and breaking the sense of reality. That's why they changed Ms. Marvel's powers. They preferred to do something like Green Lantern instead of stretching powers. It's costly, challenging to make it look good, and difficult for you to find it natural. So, in the Fantastic Four, it seems like they held back on the powers and really toned them down, or they didn't even dare to write scenes where Ridley Smith's powers are used very often. So they're complaining that it's not stretched enough. It seems like Ray Richards' superpower is going to be more of a mind that stretches than arms or other body parts that stretch. So guys, these are the impressions of Fantastic Four. Do you agree that these are real challenges the production faced? And do you agree that from what we've seen of the movie so far, these are actually positive points? Galactics and a horror atmosphere? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'll return shortly with more pop culture discussions. Click the on-screen options to stay tuned. See you later, soon, or in a bit. Bye.